I have finally found the best MILF manga that there is out there, all thanks to Cdawg VA. A young man wants to marry the mothers of the hero's party. As a member of the hero's party, Cerise, the main character, set out to defeat the Demon King, but one day, he was suddenly dismissed by the hero, and he had to leave the party. All alone, Cerise sought to find a domestic slave to take care of him. What he saw at the slave market was Miss Shizuko, the mother of the hero, sold as a slave? The unreasonably expelled young man's isekai mama harem is born. So thanks to Cdawg VA sharing this, I actually was able to find this, and it's honestly a very good read. But you follow Cerise, who ends up being a close childhood friend with the hero and the hero's party. So the hero's party is actually just a bunch of childhood friends who went off and were ordained by the church to be the hero's party and bring end to the Demon Lord itself. So as the journeys continue, Cerise was the backbone of the party, essentially. He did a lot of things to keep him going, from paperwork, dealing with the church, etc., etc. And as the levels go on, they got higher ranks, etc. But one day, the hero was like, nah fam, you're good, we don't need you anymore. Because he's a womanizer, he wants all women around him. He wants every single one, has slept with every single one. Which Cerise doesn't care. He's like, alright, my time's come, I'm done. I did my thing. And that's where you find out that Cerise was actually isekai from another world. He's in his mid-40s, just inside this, like 16 to 20-year-old body. And he had a wife and kids, so he's like, these are all kids to me. I'm not interested in any of that stuff. So he goes without saying any note. He said, goodbye, everyone. Nice to see you. I'll see you when after the adventure. We'll see you when we get back home. And so you find out as he's walking around trying to decide if he wants a domestic slave or not, which he does end up doing, as you heard in the description. He ended up admitting that when he was younger, he admitted that he was in love with all the mothers of their friends. So like the main hero and the other three girls in the party that were support characters and support party members. While he truly meant that he is in love with them and wants to be with them, they were joking and didn't think it seriously. So as he ends up going to the slave market, he's like, well, you're Cerise, what are you doing here? You're part of the hero's party. He's like, nah, I'm good. I'm not part of the party anymore. All right, well, let me show you to the slaves in the back. And as he's going around, he sees Miss Shizuko, the hero's mother, sitting there as a slave, to which he immediately buys her for really cheap. And that's when you find out that basically anyone over 17 is considered an old lady, and any woman beyond 30 is deemed decrepit and no one wants, apparently, in this society, which is mind-blowing. But that's how the societal standards are. Men, it doesn't matter, so they'll just keep getting 16-year-old wives and keep on switching out, apparently. It's a normal thing in this society. So that's when Cerise says, yep, let me get her, and, it basically buys her after getting the slave stuff and everything and buying her actual clothes instead of a child uniform, which that's all they had on site. They end up sitting down and talking, to which you find out that her husband sold her off because he lost all the money that they got from being the parents of the hero. He gambled it off, spent it on women and a bunch of other stuff, and sold her off to get more money. So after losing all the power and money, and selling her off, she's really pissed off. And understandably, Cerise is pissed as well, because this woman that he really does care for and has feelings for was just sold off to the side because some guy lost all of his money in the gambling house. So as the days go on, Cerise basically reaffirms that he does love her and he wants her to be his lover, and he has feelings for her and has had feelings for her since he was young, to which she always downplays herself because she's 30, she's decrepit, and it's a self-worth thing because of how society is saying, these women aren't worth the time, these aren't, good women. So the day goes on, Shizuko ends up buying and making food for him, and you get to know each other a little bit better, and she realizes, well, he's a young man, but I'm still not worthy enough. And then, well, after having breakfast and basically making her fall for him more, he ends up telling her what happened with the party, how her son exiled him and all the women basically betrayed him, slept with the hero, and threw him to the side, and that pissed her off. And she agrees that their mothers are also going to be very pissed off once they find out, after they did this to such a nice, kind guy who deserves the world in their eyes. Well, in Shizuko's eyes, which soon to be the mother's eyes. You find out it's a harem. I mean, eventually, it's gonna happen. So after finding this out, Cerise has a good idea. Why not go register as a party member so they can work out a lot of legal stuff, and he doesn't have to worry about a lot of things because she is a slave. But if he registers in a party, he works its stuff out. So as they go to the guild hall, she walks in, and the guild leader ends up praising her, and because she's so great, after the receptionist calls her out for being an old lady. And then a bunch of things occur, but you find out that he's technically still can be set as a subsect of the hero's party, which gives him the privilege of being able to actually marry multiple people, you find out, and having this party that he wants to do. And then we find out that Shizuko used to be a S rank healer, the best of the best, the cream of the creme, like the best thing you can get. And she has attack power, and she's like the best healer that's ever happened. And we find out because of the guild leader coming down and dealing with, well, the receptionist messing up and calling her out for being an old hag, as she puts it. She was so powerful that she even had her own name. The Raven-Haired Healer is what she went by, with a group of party members, to which you find out that the other party members were the other moms of the hero's party. It's kind of like how fate is weird. Everything kind of just flows together, works together, and just works itself out. And he finds all that information out while they're on the way to subdue an earth dragon and basically, you know, go on a quest together, because she's got to earn her way back. She couldn't just be S rank right away, so she came back as an A rank, which is like, she's that good. They're just like, here's A rank, go do something real quick to get S rank so we can justify it. It's amazing. So anyway, after defeating the Earth Dragon and a Rock Dragon, which is insane, which it was pretty quick because Cerise got really good real fast because he went and did a lot of dragon slaying, and he probably is more powerful than the actual main hero himself, which is kind of insane. And it's not because of Isekai powers or anything. As far as I know of, I've read through 19-20 chapters, which is out right now. He doesn't have any extra powers or anything. He did it in his own strength. So anyway, Cerise decides to pamper Shizuko, getting her flowers, getting her a cake, getting her a necklace to prove that he is in love with her, and this is like truth. This is the nicest thing she's ever gotten, and he is proving to her, yes, I actually do love you. And then she thinks back to when you know, she was younger, and she wishes she was younger and sexier for him, but he doesn't want that. He wants her how she is right there and then. And after a bunch of maneuvering and pandering and a bunch of other stuff, they end up having sex. That's just how it is. They end up having sex. And then at the end of it, they decide they want to go back to the hometown to meet up with the other moms and to find out where the piece of crap husband is. So she can beat the crap out of him. He can get justification for her. It's so good. 19 chapters of it. And it's wow. One of my favorite lines later on is a scene where it's just a guy with his arm around his wife, and it's like, you have to fuck my wife right in front of me. And it's like, what kind of NTR crap is this? It's a wild journey. I really do enjoy it. The art's actually pretty good. The monster design is really nice. It's hard to find like cool monster design that isn't like chibi or a little weird. Good example, Quality Insurance in Another World. Their monsters are really weird looking, but it's good for their style. But when it comes to like more surreal stuff like this and more serious stuff, you can't just have stuff like that. You have to have a better monster design, and I think they really knock it out of the park, and it comes really good into play later on in a couple later chapters past volume 1. So I'm really happy with that. The background design is still pretty solid. There's nothing really taken away of it. It's your standard fantasy background. There hasn't been anything too crazy to set it out. There hasn't been like this magical water kingdom or anything like that. So overall, I'm really happy for this manga. I'm really excited to see where it goes, and I am going to keep on reading it. It is definitely 18+ manga. It gets some wild, sexy scenes later on, and I really do think that, yeah, if you like the MILF Alley, this is the way to go. I will be continuing to read it because it's pretty good story. So let me know what you guys think. Comment down below if you're going to read this or not, because I'm really curious if this is up people's alleys or not. I got a couple more like stuff in my repertoire of this nature. I wanted to at least throw this out there before the end of the year, some of these manga. So let me know if you like that kind of stuff. Love you all, appreciate you, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.